Yeah, it's sort of like this. Shuffle.
You always get this,
Yeah.
Are you leaving? No. You're saying, go get some more to eat. You'll probably end up. Oh, I know.
Transfer the council.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. I saw your, I saw your email. Bunch of reports. Bunch of reports. You know that. I thought that was good. How do you? Are you really? Okay. Take my son, his family, which I'm really excited about. But people like oh no, that'd be perfect. You know who big winners, right? Big winners. Oh, okay. I'll take it. Well, I'll give him one. It is section. I did it. After they do I think
Yeah. And it's a slideshow, and it was just turned into a slideshow.
I know it's touched on.
Yeah. I'll be fine. One of those things comes up, or an F5. While you're talking, I can listen to it.
If I say stop, I'll just stop.
So if you share, and to do that, like I did that with the officer, you just hold one in a separate folder. And then if you open that folder, hit F5, it'll just scroll through those photos.
Yeah. So you may have
You just have to hold it down if you want it. For like 3 or 4 seconds. Just did it the other day. You want to compare. Yes. Use your finger, use your thumb down. Press it deeper.
Brothers and guests, we call this meeting to order. Before we get started, I would just like to ask for your patience and some grace, as this is my first rodeo tonight. But nonetheless. Worthy Chancellor Robert D., would you please lead us in prayer?
Open with a prayer for occasions, followed by Hail Mary. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus Christ, Shepherd of souls, who called the apostles to be fishers of men, raise up your apostles in thy holy church. Teach them that to serve thee is to reign, to possess thee is to possess all things. Kindle in their young hearts the fire of zeal for souls. Make them eager to spread the kingdom upon earth. Grant them courage to follow you, you who are the way, the truth, and the life, through the same Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Hail Mary,
Full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Mary, help of Christians.
Pray for us.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Brothers and guests, remain standing, face the flag, and please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Okay, we're running a little bit behind tonight, so I'm going to try and keep this meeting as brief as possible. We do have a lot to cover. We're going to start first with the roll call. Worthy Warden, please conduct the roll call of officers. Excuse. Here.
Chancellor Bob present. Secretary Darrell Stasky present. Treasurer Bruce excused. Recorder James Pavlik present.
Advocate Nick Jacobson, excused. Inside guard Wayne Carlson, excused. Outside guard Ken Duplex, present. Trustee first year Tom Sorkin, present. Trustee second year Mike Whistle, present. Trustee third year Steve Gaston, present. Lecturer excused. Warden Joe James, present. Chaplain Father Vitalis, excused.
Thank you, Brother Bill. The minutes of the last meeting have been written, recorded, and emailed to the council. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
Worthy, stand in Deputy Grant. I'd like to make a motion, we accept the minutes as written and published by this. Thank you.
Second. A motion to accept the minutes as written and emailed to the council was presented by Brother Pacheco and seconded. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as written, recorded, and emailed to the council, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion was seconded, voted on, and approved. We normally would have the chaplain's message here, but Father Vitalis is excused. He was called away on a special call tonight, so we unfortunately won't hear from him. I do have an email message from him. I don't have it with me just yet, but a little later on, I'll try and pull that up for you if we have time towards the end of the meeting. Worthy Financial Secretary, Brother Darrell Statsky, please give your report.
Very nice. Brothers, we have 379 members in our council as of today. We've had a good recruiting season for the summer. Usually July and August are a little slow for us until things pick up in September. But we've had one in July, one new member in July, and two in August. Our two new August members are John Devine and Raymond Trapp. Raymond's here. Raymond, would you please stand up? Raymond just took our degree ceremony on, what was it, the 15th of August? 18th? Yes, 18th. Thank you. So we're currently at 3 new members, about 20% of our goal, which is very good. We've got some prospects still left from the ministry fair that Ray will follow up with his report. And then let's see what else. I think that's it for tonight.
And on that note, I'd like to recognize 3 special guests attending this evening, 2 of which you already know, but we're still honored to have them in attendance tonight. First one is Past Master, moving recently here down from Northern California, and that is Past Master Steve Peterson. Also in our midst, we have the Honorable and worthy State Advocate Ken Reef. And as usual, we have our District Deputy, Corey Newell.
Thank you.
Whether Treasurer Bruce Honey is not here. Oh, yes.
Yeah, tonight, I did bring a guest. I didn't have a chance to mention that.
Please.
This is my neighbor, Chris Jerome, and he's here checking out, see what the night is about. So.
Welcome.
With Grand Night, Brother Bruce sent out a preliminary treasurer's report. He's on extended vacation. He'll be back shortly, and then he'll update the council with the actual treasurer's report for the month of August.
All right, now we have Brother Joe James will present our life committee report.
Thank you all who participated in the pro-life mass on August 20th. And it was a great event. It was a great turnout for us, 75 people. And thank you to Jared Sullivan, who was responsible for getting our lot cleared up. And for all the people, Steve, Brother Steve, Joe Cardona, for all his work. Steve Jock, Steve Jansen, Dick Jacobson, Dave Beckler, and it was a really special event, great homily by Father Greg Vance, and thanks especially to our deacon. This guy works all the time, and we put a lot of time into this event, getting all the stuff down there and clearing up afterwards, and great things that we can share. And we'll have the regular chat with our prayer, Roseby, and Divine Mercy Prayer, third Saturday, it's the 17th of September. So, that'll be at 9:30 at Divine Mercy at 10.
Thank you, Brother Joe. Next, I'd like to invite Brother Ray Henson to give his membership committee report.
Good evening, worthy Deputy Grand Knight. In addition, thank you, to the brothers that just recently joined this past month. Have a few other names here. We have a current member who advanced to the third degree, Brother Greg Osmus. And also we have two transfers, Matthew Bauer and Mark Lytle. Are they here at all? Okay. Also, we have prospects in the wing. We have two e-members waiting their exemplification. Their names are Greg Shamp and Steve Jazz Cohen. And we also have a very recent RCIA graduate, Brother Ed Shaw, who will be making his. He was here like a month or two ago, and so we kind of had him, but he's anxious to get into the council for sure. Also, we have three additional prospects. Their names are Thomas Babione, Mike Keck, and Shelish Montero. So we have the potential to add 6 more members real soon. So that's going to bump us right in there comfortably on our goal to our membership quota. So at any rate, that's all I have for the deputy grant.
Thank you, Brother Ray. Next, Brother Fred Klein will give our community committee report.
Thank you. We're the Deputy Grand Knight. We have, as you already aware, we have a number of kind of sub projects going on in our committee. And I do want to say that Ed Shaw, who you just mentioned, is working with Mike at the Corpus Christi House, already doing work for our council. So just thought I would mention that. Basically, I'm spearheading the Leave No Neighbor Behind. We have completed our phone calls for those 75 and older, and now we're going to the 70 and 74. So some of you happen to be in that range. So when you receive the call, because you still will get a call even though you're active, we're just going to say hello. So I think I surprised Don. I think, yeah. He's like, what are you calling? No, he didn't say that. I'm not camping. That was great. Anyway, it's a lot of fun calling. And if you are interested, the next group is going to be 56 brothers, so we can use some help. Please see me afterwards, and we'd be happy to add it to the list, and we'll go with you the minimal training, the minimal amount of training that is very little. So, mainly, just come see me and I'll go over that with you. Next, I'm gonna turn the, mic over to Mike. And, then we'll go to, Joe Cardone, for, other, updates. Here you go, Mike.
That's right. Happy grand night. Anyways, I'm just gonna put up one or two slides here if we can find one. I have Corpus Christi. I just kind of got some called out with many photos I've taken, so I was gonna do a little slideshow of it. I'm gonna build it, so we can access it online or at the next meeting. In any case, that's the back lot, of Corpus Christi. That's probably where the hamburger grill will go up for cooking, I think, in September, right? Yeah. Okay, next. Next. All right. Okay, so, we'll just, okay, one picture of the Corpus Christi house here. All right, we'll just move ahead. In case, the,
Here we go.
there you go, we'll just leave it there. This is a prime example of what's going on at Corpus Christi. Our job is to get lots of clothing, hopefully from the parish, as you're aware. And then we bring it up here twice a week, Fridays and Mondays, and it's chock full of gear. So, in a box that Joe made, it's about 35 cubic feet. It holds about 250 pairs of jeans or 58 pairs of shoes or whatever. You know, you can do the math on the volume. So we're bringing in tons of stuff. We usually put someone's back of the highlighter in this case, and they come out and they grab the gear, and off it goes on the inside. It gets processed, and then it's hung, and then people are taking it right away. So there, I think it's Ken, perhaps, right, helping out. Stay with you, Bobby. That's it. Kind of you? No, that's another homeless guy. Oh, that's Doug, boy. Yeah, I have not met him, I didn't meet him that day, but he just got done traveling in Europe. But the point is, folks that are looking forward to getting the gear, I'll put together a little more show. I just want to have a chance to get out here tonight and show you where we're at. In any case, it's been going very well. You've heard that enough. So we've had 8 deliveries for the month of August thus far, and so far all 8 were filled the bin, overflowing, Susan's breaking the bin, so Joe has to go out and repair it. But he's very gracious in that help. The one other thing I just want to put across to you is we had a nice discussion maybe with Fred last week about get-togethers and getting to know each other. So I'm going to put out the schedule and make that available to the grant who accepts that. And what I like to do is just show you that it's Mondays or Fridays, and it'll tell you, who the person is that's going to be out there. So I have all the phone numbers. So if you just want to go out and see what the site looks like, just allocate about 2 hours of your time. You meet, and you're appointed. Assuming you will meet with the driver just over here at the outside the back of the school area of the classrooms, and you can just fill up the bin, go on down, and have a little chat, get to know each other a little bit. So it's a way for nights to kind of expand maybe who they know here and what they know of that person, and share the ride and get a chance to go and see the facility, get an idea, just something to do. That's all, a couple hours of your time. Then maybe sometime you may want to do it yourself as a driver. But we got 6 drivers, and they're a big help. We're pretty busy actually getting this stuff out there. So just something to add to. I really think that's about it for now. Thank you very much.
Great work, Mike. Thank you.
So we're gonna have on the 17th of October, blood drive, which is a Monday. So as you remember, we have 4 blood drives a year, 2 on a Monday and 2 on a Saturday. So this way, those who are retired can come in and get blood on Monday, and those who work can come and get blood on a Saturday. So we'll start advertising this next blood drive for 17 October. And on the 17th of October, I'll need volunteers here by 8:30. We'll start a blood drive right around 9. We're trying to expand it. Again, we're really well known and appreciated in the Treasure Valley for high volume recipients, donated bloods coming in. With that said, CCW was really happy to make baked goods for us, and they're really buying. The donors really appreciate that. So they get a kick out of making it for us, and the donors get a kick out of eating it. So that really has worked out really well. Next thing is Mass in the Park. I talked about in previous meetings, but expectations about 1,000 people at Settlers Park. I would say that if you come to that Mass, and supposedly it's the 9 and 11 o'clock combined, but people from other Masses will usually come also. I would say get to the park no later than 9:15. That would really help us in assisting mobility challenge individuals to get to the senior tent, and also help us getting the water and the ice bags to different spots within the area where we're having the actual picnic. We're having subs, and so right now the challenge is to get an accurate count close to the number of parishioners that will be coming, and we think that that will be 1,000. Again, I need, if you're there after Mass for the next 2 weeks, that if you would man the tables that would be out front of the door here of the church, helping people sign up. Electronically, we only have 250 coming, and we know we're going to have 1,000. So our parishioners are electronically challenged, and we have to overcome that. As quite a chunky change as you could imagine, ordering those sandwiches. Any leftovers, though, we'll send to Corpus Christi, and that's a real big help for them in handing out that type of nourishment. With all that said, it's really quite an event. One of the reasons of having the Mass in the Park out in the civilian or in the community is to evangelize within the neighborhoods that it's held. We're going to do our best to have it St. Ignatius, which is a more controlled area and logistically way easier. But if you haven't been to Mass in the Park, it's really a wonderful experience. Bring the whole family. Just let us know how many of you are coming, and we'll appreciate your help on the next 2 weekends, helping people sign up, and appreciate your help on 9/11 assistance. Thank you.
I don't see worthy insurance agent Andrew Sorley here, I don't believe, so we'll move forward. Next, we'll have our worthy district deputy, Brother Corey Newell, give his report.
Thank you, worthy Deputy Grandma. Thank you, brothers. It's good to see you all this evening. Thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for your push early on in the in this fraternal year to be able to share not only your example, but also to share this counsel and to share how important it is that every eligible Catholic gentleman have an opportunity to learn the benefits and the potential of the fraternal spirit that we have here, especially with this council, when it comes to growing and sharing the order with them and their families, so that we keep our promises truly of, if they so choose, to improve themselves as a Catholic gentleman and a better father and a friend, that we give them that opportunity. So it's good to see you tonight, Ray, as well as you, Greg, that you advanced. And so it was my pleasure to edify you at the last combined degree. So thank you for that, for sure. So, and I by your presence here, you're showing how active you are getting already And the rest of the gentlemen that went through and their families, I encourage them to get active right away. So when it comes to all your programs, I listen very attentively to all the different programs that are going on here at Holy Apostles, and I just get more impressed every time I hear your reports. And thank you for your organization, and thank you for your willingness to help support this large parish with all the families and making a difference in this community. I think it's important that they know that we're here and that we know we're here to make a difference, and that we are a valuable asset, not only to the parish, but also to the community as we change lives and save lives, and also in our families. Make sure at the end of each of your programs that you're involved with that you submit the 10784. That's a form that anybody can submit. So if you're a committee head or a chairman or a director, the form 10784 is a form you just go out on kfc.org. You'll see a red square that says for members. Click on that and click forms, and just make sure that you submit that form. And the reason that we're submitting that is Supreme is starting a new initiative where when you submit that form, they're hoping to be able to take that and it'll auto build throughout the fraternal year. And then at the end of the year, it'll fill out your Columbian Award for you. That's something that they're working on. So if we go through and as we do each of our activities, when they are completed, submit the form, it'll make your end of year submissions a lot easier. Also, when it comes to Coats for Kids, this is the time to be organizing the Coats for Kids program. Last year, we had a really great program with our Coats for Kids up in the McCall area. We were able to get matching coats from Supreme. They are doing that again this year, except they're restricting the areas for dispersion only to certain parts of the state. So we're the financial secretary, as well as yourself, Deputy Grand Knight, we can talk about where those distribution points are. Supreme is doing matching again for the coats, but they are limiting where the coats go for distribution. There's only going to be 3 sites, 1 north, 1 central, and 1 eastern. And as we learn more about where those are, I can share that information with you. I ask just what are some of the new programs that this council is going to be looking to host this year? I know that we're always looking to expand, or new needs come our way. So, and anything that I can be helping with when it comes to new programs or new initiatives, I'm happy to help you make a difference in that capacity. One area that I I invite you to focus on is the Rosary program for October. Specifically on October 7th is the Feast of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. So maybe Worthy Chancellor, when you go to do the prayers for the prayers in October, if you wanted to maybe just do like a decade of the Rosary for that October 3rd meeting for the Feast of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. The next Fraternal Benefits Seminar is going to be on September 15th. It's with Ed Slott. Our general agent, Kevin Torrey, has put that together. And this year, normally in the past, when it comes to our Fraternal Benefit Nights, we'll do just, we just promote it really well, and then we just have whoever can show up, do show up. Well, going forward, Supreme is asking that we have at least 7 insurable people attend the Fraternal Benefit Night. So the next one is going to be on the 15th. The invitations were sent out to the financial secretary as well as to the Grand Knight. So you can send those out to either potential members or current members who would benefit from the Fraternal Benefit Night. And I think it would be a worthwhile cause. The Fraternal Benefit Night is a requirement for the Founders Award, and it's also a requirement for the Star Council.
That's 2 per year.
Yes, 2 per year. So that's, and it can be, 7 people that you do attend, and then just make sure you promote it, which they do that on the website, and then also just word of mouth. The state already does a promotion throughout the Idaho Catholic Register and Salt and Light Radio. So you're already getting a little start on that, a head start. But they just ask to do things locally, like on a website, social media, and word of mouth. And you guys did make Star Council this past fraternal year, and I encourage you to once again make it again. Your membership quota, which you're well on your way, is you're at 3 now, and your membership quota for this year is 15. So I know that you'll make that in spades. So congratulations on that. So that's all I have to report for tonight. Thank you for the time. Have a good night.
Next, we'll have our fourth degree report from faithful navigator Joe Cardona.
Well, what we're gonna strive for is to energize, VA hospital, VA state home, participation. Again, those, two facilities are still wearing masks. And so there are some restrictions or limitations, but I can tell you there's nothing that can't be overcome. So we're gonna look at our participation and helping those veterans know that there are people outside those facilities that think and care about them. The second thing that we're going to do is promote patriotism with the St. Ignatius School. Right now, we have a proposal to the school for 3 levels of patriotism and essay contests. Instead of having 1 first, second, and third for the whole school, we have 1 first, second, third for the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And the cash reward for those first, second, third place prizes will help them either buy clothing or school supplies while they're at St. Ignatius. So we're helping them. We're helping the school, we're helping the students, and at the same time, we're promoting patriotism. And I think that's about it. You know, we're always willing to accept new members to Colorport. So once you make it to 4th degree, we'll welcome you with open arms. Thank you. That's my.
Thank you, Brother Joe. All right, let's move on into new business. We have several things to discuss. First and foremost is the subject of funding or support for our brothers in the Assembly. And I'd like to call upon worthy Financial Secretary Daryl Stasky.
For the great night. Brothers, we had 3 meetings between the leadership of the council and the leadership of the assembly to go over increased support for the 4th degree. It's been about 20 years since we implemented the 10% rule. The council annually donates 10% to the 4th degree. We think it's the time that be increased. And we've come up with a proposal, an agreement with the 4th degree. And I'd like to make the following motion that 1, the assembly will receive 20% of the net of all unrestricted fundraising, excluding FBOs, to be paid in 1 check at the end of the fraternal year. And that 2, the assembly will receive all proceeds from our April Summon Roll FBO for veterans. If council purchases supplies for this, the assembly is responsible for repaying the council out of the monies collected. That's my motion. I'm hoping for a second, and then we'll have some discussion.
I second that.
Is there any discussion? Brother Dennis?
Can someone explain unencumbered funds, what that number is and what that final, what the projected number is?
Unencumbered funds. You may notice that we've changed the treasurer's report this year to include a better snapshot of the unencumbered funds. That being said, it is basically any funds that are not specifically earmarked for a specific charity, such as baby bottles, would be unencumbered fund, because that money goes strictly to the pro-life programs that we choose. And then anything that we raise in like for our Summon rolls, it's an FBO for the benefit of, would be considered a restricted funds as well. So the 4th degree is going to be paid on basically fish fries, pancake breakfast, selling of the Lent books, and any other fundraiser that actually has a net gain on it. So anything that would be a zero net would not be included in the calculation.
Brother Tom?
Deputy Grant, I won't take a lot of time, but I think I would just like to add to the discussion for the benefit of everyone that's here. Having participated in those meetings, I felt they went quite smooth in members of both the council and the assembly reviewing the budget categories of the assembly, the budget categories of the council, and really taking a look at the overall benefit of the Knights of Columbus, not just the assembly or not just the council. That was one of the ways that we came up with the 20% to actually fund budget categories, if that's helpful.
Thank you, Brother Tom. Any other comments? Discussion? A motion to amend the financial support for the assembly has been presented by Brother Darrell Stasky, as stated and seconded. All of those in favor of accepting, say, or affirm by aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Motion was made, seconded, voted on, and approved. Next, I'd like to call upon Brother Dennis Coates to discuss the upcoming pancake breakfast.
Thank you, worthy Deputy Grand Knight. Going to start our cooking year again here coming in September. We're going to have 3 pancake breakfasts during the calendar year, and then the remainder of them are going to be the cinnamon roll ones. Our first one is going to be September 25th. And we're going to try to do something. We're trying to get these so they're more of a community event as well. We do make money on them, but try to get it more involved with the parish community. Going to try to do some fresh fruit this time around just because of the time of the year. Haven't met with Dave yet, but they will be on the calendar to go out. Dave says it got a thumbs up. So please go out and sign up. As you guys know, it takes quite a few guys to put this in together, about 100 hours. And if everybody is willing to put 3 or 4 hours in on the first shift or the second shift, it makes it really, really easy to get this accomplished. I would like to volunteer also to help put up the sign on the 18th, the sign that goes out on the building that says pancake breakfast next week. And then the week of it, it says pancake breakfast today. So I've been putting it up, but I have to have too many catalogs underneath my ladder to get it up that high.
Brother Dennis, did you say that there's a sign-up sheet online? Did you mention?
There's sign-up sheets online, yes, yes. And so if there's no questions on that, yes, worthy Joe. Oh, thank you very much, appreciate that. And I'm going to bring it up right now because the very following week, there was a lot of conflict on calendar with the office on the use of the facility. So that very next week, we have our first FBO cinnamon roll thing. And so that will be on the calendar as well. We will not be selling at the 5 o'clock mass because there's something going on here in the cafeteria. And so they don't want to have but we will be selling after the 9 and the 11 the following day. So as far as I know, the FBO is the Special Olympics. Is that correct, Daryl?
Yeah.
We do need to address that though, because is that a budgeted item? And as I recall, it's less than what we normally bring in. Are we prepared to give Special Olympics all of the funds that we put a sign up there that says FBO?
Yes, I think we should do both.
Both what?
Both the FBO and what we put in the budget.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna, so it will be the true FBO for the Special Olympics. Because I need to meet with the office tomorrow so we can get it in the bulletin. So it will be for the Special Olympics. Questions? Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Brother Dennis. Next, I'd like to mention that on October the 8th, we're going to have another all nights mass. This time it'll be on a Saturday evening at 5 p.m. And I would like to call upon Brother Ray Henson to comment on that upcoming mass.
Back in late March, we had our initial and first night's mass, all night's mass, and
We had a terrific response for a call of volunteers. And it went over so well that not only Father was so impressed, but our state deputy, Roy Bartholomew, was impressed. And somehow that mass and our service to it made its way to Supreme. And they recognized it. And don't be surprised if we see an award made during that mass on the 8th of October. So, to get to the gist of it all, I would really hope, I think most of us would hope, that the same players that volunteered the first time would volunteer again. That would take care of a lot of logistics, training, the night's shirt that is required to wear. And just having the fact that we've done it before will make it go even smoother, I'm hoping. So I'm going to be passing around a physical sign-up sheet for those who are here today to sign up again, hopefully, or if you haven't done it before and you really would like to, we would welcome you. We can always use extras, and the more the merrier. There are certain key positions, but I'm sure we're going to come up short from those who have done it before because of either the people are going to be out of town, that's not their mass they would prefer to go to, whatever. But that's all I know about that. But anyway, Father was so impressed with it. He wants to do a repeat, and I think we could really do a nice job. We're on every picture kiosk in the parish on how we did that. You're seeing some of the photos right now of how it went over. The players just through their training and prior experience performed beautifully, and it was choreographed so well. I think a lot of people think that we've been doing it, for years. So this is a plug. Give it some thoughts on volunteering. If you haven't volunteered already, if you have done it before, it would really save a lot of searching for new volunteers to join right in and do it again. So, okay, yes, it'll be Saturday evening, the 8th of October, 5 p.m. mass. It will come out soon with report times. We don't want it to show up, a few minutes ahead of time. Of course, we want to be there ready to go probably a half hour early at least. So we know our positions, know how to line up. And I'm sure the 4th degree is going to have their color guard, all in fashion too. So any questions?
Just want to add, Ray, that all participants in this all nights mass last year or earlier this year, no,
It was March.
earlier
March.
this year. In case you weren't there, you weren't familiar with it, we're either dressed in the regalia, the color guard regalia, or a light blue shirt specifically for those people not wearing regalia to participate along with khaki pants. And then those who were not participants in the celebration or the mass were wearing either the blue or the red shirts. But we want to highly encourage you to prayerfully consider participating in this mass, because this really does show well. And it means a lot for not just the parish, but for the community, because we do have people outside of this parish that do attend as well. So it's great for the Knights organization, number one. But number two, it presents itself so well got so many compliments from attendees, parishioners who attended the Mass. They were really impressed. And so we'd love to do the same, if not better, going forward. So please carefully and prayerfully consider participating in this Mass. Really appreciate it. Now, we do have shirts. I have some extra shirts that were ordered that were leftovers that are brand new. If in case you're considering to participate, just let me know or let our Grand Knight know what size you need. I think they were like $35 for a shirt. They're long sleeve, light blue. They have a nice emblem on, very clean, very good looking. Any questions? Great. So you want to pass that around, Brother Ray?
Yes, also to add, it's a terrific recruiting event as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we came up with several 4-100s after that Mass, people that say, well, I want to be part of that. And hence they become members. So, okay.
Just want to add one other thing too, not just for the night's Mass, but for all of the events you hear mentioned here this evening, the upcoming events, the breakfast, the pancake breakfast, the cinnamon roll events, and all other associated events with the Knights Council, as well as the Assembly. Really, we're looking for you to step up and participate. We need you. We usually have the same group of guys show up time after time, steadfast group of guys that are going to be there regardless. We're looking for more participants. So please prayerfully consider getting involved. Next, I want to have Brother Bud speak briefly about a scholastic proposal.
Concise. Proposal is a program to address individual teacher funding needed for student supplies. And, the problem that I've encountered is that I met a teacher and that in today's public school situation, the individual teachers teaching in low-income areas are experiencing some situations where families are not able to provide their children with school-needed personal supplies. The assumption was that the state school systems and the county school systems supply food things to the students. But the individual school supplies, they expect the parents to be able to handle that. The only situation that I got involved with is that there's some teachers that are teaching in low income areas. And the parents in those areas really don't have the ability to just turn up the money to buy the pencils and the items that they need at the rate that they need them. So teachers themselves, out of their own pockets, tend to buy those supplies. And the recommendation that I have is that we have a funding program at the Knights Community Services Organization that really has a fund ability or a presentation capability of recommending us step into that situation of that specific teacher with the supplies. Example that I looked into and I'm in the middle of right now is we have a teacher that's a math teacher with 150 students. And in math, you go through pencils quite rapidly. And you go through erasers equally. And you go through notebooks. She provides a notebook for each of the students because math program requires them to actually maintain their math work from class to class or from schedule to schedule. So she has in the example I presented here, 400 pencils is what this particular teacher said she could use. It's using the same pencils that we use on the golf course with the short pencil, with the eraser. Tends to be longer lasting than the larger pencils because the students don't break them in half as often. So, so that was the recommendation there. And 100 erasers, she cuts them in half because they would do that anyway. And so this way she gets twice as far with 100 erasers and about 60 rolls of Scotch tape to help them paste work into their notebooks. And so that's the supply list that this particular teacher has presented. And I've pretty much completed procurement of that. And the estimated cost for that project was $400 in that range. I've got all the bills calculated yet, but it's in that $450 range for that project. So a couple things. One is I think it's especially Corey, please listen to me, because I think this is something that the Knights should be doing, and all of the Knights under your wing. Because if we have programs that actually have available, word will get out, and teachers won't take advantage. My finding with working with the teachers is I don't think we're going to find teachers taking advantage of the system. Instead, I think they'll come in and present a situation that they need help with. One, they don't have the funds in their own pocket, and yet we have that need. So that's kind of the program that I would like to see propagated to other kind of organizations in your group as well, and maybe in the state, because it's not a limited problem to just this area. So that's my pitch. I have copies of what I've said.
I have those copies if anybody wants to see those, but Brother Bud, are we looking for somewhere in the neighborhood potentially of like between $300 and $500 for this one particular teacher, or is it a group of teachers?
So this is one teacher.
One teacher. Okay.
And it's one teacher teaching math in West Ada County. And the particular location for the school is in a very, very worker community. And so there's a situation where the teacher asks for help picking up the supplies to help her provide the supplies.
So basically, we're talking about a teacher in a disadvantaged area, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a public school. It's a public school. Right. This is outside of our relationship with the school. This is really reaching to the other side. And it's really the newspapers in Idaho right now. We're flooded with problems that teachers are encountering. And the state's jumping in as best it can. But in the state programs, they're providing it to all of the students. And there's a specific program for funding. So this is a unique situation.
Yeah. I personally have a daughter who is a school teacher and has been for like 12 years, and I know each year she's invested somewhere between, I don't know, $300-500, just getting supplies and setting up a room for school. So, and I know we all probably know somebody like that.
Right, the teacher will manages the inventory, so it doesn't just hand them out to everybody. The teacher makes sure the kids have backpacks. They have little holders for their supplies. So the backpack brings the supplies back. She wants to make sure they always have something.
Yes.
Great night. My wife was a special ed teacher, and most, let's say 90% of her career, she was in Title I schools, and many years spent 20-25% of her income going back to doing supplies. Because exactly what
This is a Title I school.
Brother Dennis.
Thank you. This is substantially what Bud said. I did hear a news article on the national news the other day to this very topic. And the two teachers that they interviewed, and they were not in Idaho. One had spent $2,000 a year prior to do the very same thing. I think that the need is there. My question probably would be, what's the logistics of this thing? How are you going to manage it? Is it, you've got one teacher now that's asking for it, and I understand. But what's the logistics? How are you going to determine?
I don't have the answer to that yet, but I think if you give it a go ahead on the program, that it's a possibility of it becoming a program, we can go to that next step of determining the process. We just had a knock on the door from this person.
Brother Rich?
50 grand. I think the planning committee ought to take this under advisement, discuss this, whether we want to start funding public school teachers. I know it's a working cause, but that's something we've never done in the past.
Any other discussion, input, thoughts?
I'll chip in.
For the financial secretary?
We did talk about this at the officers meeting earlier this month, and it was I think what we decided to do was we throw our support behind funding this one teacher, and we do have $2,000 in our community fund under other, and that's where this would fall as far as the budget goes. So yes, we can support this under the budget, under that other category. And as far as whether we're going to support other teachers and other schools going forward, we're going to have to look into that. But right now, Bud's motion is just for this one particular teacher, and we're going to keep it at that for now, and then we'll investigate it going down the road.
One shot deal.
Yeah, at this point.
In fact, yes.
Just want to comment on what my other counselors do. We actually partnered with our sister St. Paul's. We would do about 250, 300 backpacks. And we use the parish. We give a list of all the items that we need to go in the backpack. And they would go out. So we can tap our parish to help us with this. This is something we could really help the parish get on. Just a thought.
On that note, I think it was discussed in our officers meeting that we were thinking that sometime down the road, either latter part of next year, towards the beginning of school year or right before, we would hold maybe a fundraising event to benefit school or a school for supplies. And in terms of what format it took, that wasn't discussed in particular, but I think that is on the line that you presented, and that's what we were talking about. So there's been a motion to support this one teacher presented by Brother Darrell. Is there a second? Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do that, I'm sorry, Brother Joe.
Brother Bud.
Brother Bud.
You made the motion.
Oh, you made the motion. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. There was a motion made by Brother Bud.
We have a second.
Do we have a second? I have a second. Any other discussion? All right, so there has been a motion made to go ahead and fund this teacher by Brother Bud, and a second by Joe. Brother Joe, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Motion is passed.
Can I make a comment about your comment? The last discussion we had is that it could work very similarly for the parish, get it kind of implemented by this specific parish. Very similar to our Corpus Christi managed mandatory. Something that I certainly would be willing to step into the middle of, set up our management system, how we go about doing that.
All right, real quickly, there was one other item of note that I needed to mention to the council that we'll probably take up in our next officers meeting, which is Brother Bradley Childers has approached the council and asked for the Knights to help support a STEM program where they have packages or kits. They had a number of kits totaling somewhere in the range of around $3,000. He's not asking for $3,000. He's asking for some support, whatever support we can offer. Brother Dave, Worthy Grand Knight Dave, was thinking maybe somewhere in the range of $300 to $500 as a donation for that program. So I just wanted to throw that out there for some thought. Any discussion on that? What we'll do is we'll take it up in the officers meeting and then present it at the next council meeting. Worthy District Deputy.
Is Brad Childress, is he the gentleman from St. Ignatius?
He's a school teacher.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's important to let the council know that that teacher that's talking about STEM is from St. Ignatius. So that's something just as we're discussing that,
Good point.
the council needs to be aware that that's.
He's not only a teacher there, but he is a knight as well. All right, one other thing I want to mention, I want to bring up is Brother Tom Sorgy would like to briefly talk about the upcoming bingo nights and some help needed for that.
Thank you, Deputy Grand Knight. Our first bingo event that is sponsored by St. Ignatius School Foundation is coming up September 16th. They have 5 events throughout the year, and all the funds earned from that bingo night that has become pretty popular in the parish goes to support the foundation, and the foundation in turn supports St. Ignatius Catholic School. In the past events, the Knights have provided the kitchen and the beverages. Gene, I think, will take care of the beverages, and I don't see him here tonight. And Dennis has taken care of the kitchen. We've decided to limit that and minimize the effort by just offering 2 entrees, probably just some pizza, and then a chicken salad and a dessert. And so we're trying to simplify it, but we do need 5 to 6 people to help out for that event. And I see a show of hands who might be available to help with that event. Awesome. Okay, thank you very much. In addition to that, though, we need people. I'm going to get on the bandwagon a little bit here. Dennis has been taking care of all the pancake breakfasts, all the cinnamon rolls, the bingo night. I've been doing the fish fries. We cannot have 2 people in this council, the only ones that lead kitchen events. It just isn't going to work in the long term. So could I get a show of hands of people that might be willing to step up and assist and eventually take some kind of a leadership role in running our kitchen events? How many might be able to do that?
And one behind you.
Excellent. Excellent. Dennis, take note of those names. And we will be contacting you.
Brother Tom, is there going to be a sign-up sheet for these bingo night events or online?
No, don't have an, I've got another one sign-up sheet that's going to come around. Yeah, I'll put bingo on it also. But we only need 5 or 6, okay? We don't need 10 people. We don't need to overpower it, okay? The next event, I'm going to take on
You had a question back here, Tom.
What time is it? 4 o'clock. The next event, I'm going to follow on Mike Newell's Corpus Christi. Annually, we have gone down to Corpus Christi House, which is the homeless shelter downtown Boise, and we've prepared a barbecue hamburger luncheon for those folks. It's usually 150 to 175. They actually put a sign up down there, and you'd be surprised how many more people come to Corpus Christi that day, because they're getting a nice hot meal. So we take the grill down there. I've already solicited from CS Meat Packers. They are going to supply all the hamburgers. Wow. So the only cost going to be to the council is the buns, sodas, and we'll probably get some chips and pasta, I think we've done some potato salad. That's going to be the 21st of September. That's a Wednesday. And we get there about 11:30. Unless you want to change the time that we start serving, Mike, you can get back to me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you sometime.
Okay, but usually we start serving there about noon. We take those hamburgers right off the grill and put them on a line, and these folks go through, and it's really rewarding. And we need probably 10 to 12 people for that. Your spouses are welcome to come and help with that also. And I do have a sign-up list for that I'm going to send around. And please sign up. Can I get a preliminary show of hands of how many people might be available on a Wednesday, the 21st, to help with that? Okay, looks like we're gonna be able to have it covered.
Awesome.
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Tom. Yes, Brother Mike.
I'm just curious about the process. If we don't have enough people to do something, we keep talking to the same audience here about we have enough people here. Do we ever go out and send out an email just to, because I know that the committee's been working on identifying who's actually all in this nice organization here in this council. 200 some odd names. In any case, does an email go out say, hey, there's opportunities?
Yes, usually when an event is announced and we have sign-up sheets online, Worthy Grand Night, Dave will typically send an email out to reinforce that announcement and also ask for volunteers.
Yeah, so we're not just limited to what we consider active.
No, it goes out to the entire
Everybody,
council.
somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Any other questions? One other thing I want to quickly mention, Brother Keith Klein asked me to mention this, and I think it's worthy, it's noteworthy. And on October 3rd and October 4th, at the Majestic Theater, it's a limited showing. Mother Teresa, No Greater Love, which I hear is a terrific movie, will be shown. Our meeting is on the 3rd in October, but obviously the night of the 4th, and they're going to be shown at 7 p.m. the evening of the 3rd and 4th. We'd love to have a lot of our knights and their wives attend if possible. So we just want to mention that to you so that maybe you'll keep that in mind. Again, it's October 3rd, October 4th, 7 p.m. at the Majestic Theater. And I think that there has been an email or two that had gone out to any council members this past week, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind. And if you need more information, see me after the meeting. Is there any unfinished business that we need to address at this time? Brother Joe.
About the safe environment training on the 3rd. About the safe environment training on the 3rd. What we're proposing is that if you come here on the 3rd at 6 o'clock, we'll feed you. And what you'll do is sit through a presentation from Miss Sandra, who's in charge of doing the training, safe environment. Safe environment means that we have all been trained and qualified to be around younger adults, children and adults. And it's something that is needed by Knights of Columbus throughout the whole organization. It's not only for the protection of the children that we will be engaged with in different activities, but it's also for your own protection, and that you know what's appropriate or not, and you know when it's appropriate to alert the next level of concern to authorities about a child in danger or a young adult in danger. So again, that will be the 3rd of October. You're here by 6 o'clock. We're going to feed you. We're going to do a pizza party, but not plain pizza. It's going to be a good treat for you, okay? And but just short of you falling asleep, okay? But Sandra is going to streamline it. One caveat is that they'll give us a card where we have to register online for a background check. That's the only requirement afterwards. So even though you get the training, they'll do a background check on us. So it's an easy peasy. We were asked to only get 2, and I sort of challenged us to getting more than 35, and I can open those doors if I need to get you all in here. Okay? So.
Thank you, Brother Joe. All right, next is for the good of, yes.
I'm sorry, I just want to add something to Joe's program, is that many of the officers and chair folks have already gone through the safety training. So it's about 3 hours. No. Normally it's about 3 hours online, and you have to use modules and things like that. So when Joe says it's getting streamlined, it's getting streamlined. And I think my personal opinion, not that anyone's asked, but I think it's something that every night needs to do. I think it should be a requirement. So I'll wholeheartedly support it, and that you being here and getting it streamlined so quickly is a fantastic thing to get everyone through it. So we all had background checks, and so your leaders have already gone through all this. So they're obviously very worthy to continue in their leadership position, and you are too. So please join us. Thank you.
More than giving for tonight. I need to make just make sure no one's confused about safe environment. There's 2 programs. The program that you heard about with the council officers go to is for the Knights of Columbus. That's the one you go online to, and it's done by the Knights of Columbus and organization, which is the #1 rated safe environment program in the country. There's a second program. This is what Dave Navigator was talking about. That is required by the diocese. Right? Diocese, the church, the school, that type of thing. Now, that means some people in the Knights are going to have to go to both of those officers. But for the most part, if you're not an officer or a director and you want to help over at the school, for example, you just have to go to the diocese. Any questions on that? Great, thank you.
Thanks for the clarification, Brother Ken. Anyone else? All right, for the good of the order, are there any prayer intentions? Anything else anyone has to offer?
So for the good of the order, Brother Pat Brown, he's got prayers. Undergoing operation, place screws somewhere in his back.
Thank you, Brother Rich. Anybody else? Brother Tom?
Probably have to, remember Brother Ron Castro. He was one of the original members of this assembly. He's still around. He ran the usher program for us, ran a number of programs in the parish for us. He's been struggling for a couple of years. I took him to St. El's
got a scan last week. And once again, most of the vessels in his heart are blocked. So there's gonna be a surgery on Thursday this week, where they're gonna try and see what they can do for him after they go in, what I understand. I don't know what you want to call that, but what we need is America. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Tom. I'd like us to keep Brother Paul Edwards in our thoughts and prayers. He had surgery, I think it was either yesterday or today. I think he had to have a toe removed, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And we wish him a speedy recovery. Please keep him in our prayers, as well as our worthy Grand Knight Dave Saradino, who's feeling pretty ill and has been for the last 3 or 4 days. He started to feel better, but then late today when I spoke to him, he was starting to feel pretty bad again. So I think tomorrow he's actually going to see a doctor. Let's keep our worthy Grand Knight in our prayers and our thoughts. Anyone else? Yes.
I just want to ask this body to keep in your prayers another district deputy. His name is Richard Friedel, and he's from the Idaho Falls area. And Richard Friedel has, he was doing really well. He actually had a cardiac procedure and things were going well. He actually went through the surgery just fine. And not 2 days after he was home, convalescing, resting up, he all of a sudden had a pulmonary embolism that sent him right back into the hospital. And he's actually worse off than even when he went in originally. So I would just ask you, Brother Knights and your families, to be praying for District Deputy Richard Friedel from the Idaho Falls area as he continues to recover from this cardiac issue.
Thank you, Brother Corey.
Not a prayer request, but just to remind everyone that this coming Sunday is the first Sunday of the month, and we're asked to wear a knight's shirt, either red or blue, just again to let the parish know that we're here and promote the night. So this Sunday, I'd like to see a lot of red and blue at all the masses.
Thank you, Brother Robert. Before the closing prayer, I just want to thank everybody for their attendance and their participation in this council meeting. And also for your volunteers, for raising your hands and volunteering. Yes, Brother Tom.
As you close, I know everybody's not had a chance to sign up. We've got 2 or 3 going around here. We've got one for the mask, and then there's one for the bingo and the barbecue. So if you, when we close, I make sure you get signed up before you leave.
Yeah, please, before you leave, let's make sure we hunt down that clipboard and sign up. But thanks again, appreciate everybody being here, and again for your participation. Sorry that the meeting ran a little longer than expected. I'm going to call upon now Brother Robert Nee for our closing prayer. Stand or kneel.
Or not.
Or not. Brother Corey.
We have a card prayer for the canonization of Blessed Michael McGiffin. God our Father, protector of the poor, defender of the Lord, you call the priest Father Michael to be an apostle of Christian life and to lead young to the eternal service. Through the example of his life and virtue, may we follow your Son, Jesus Christ, more closely, fulfilling his command of charity and building up the heart of his church. Let the inspiration of your servant come us to greater confidence in your love, so that we may continue his work and carry the kingdom. We humbly ask that you glorify your blessed Son, Father Michael J. McGiffin, on earth according to the sight of your holy will. Through his intercession, grant that favor and mercy give it the order through
Christ our Lord. Amen.
Lady Queen of the Knights.
Pray for us.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I declare this meeting adjourned.